Hi, I'm Jim Doti and welcome to Chapman Connects. I'm really excited about having as my guest today Annette Walker, the dynamic new leader in Orange County who's been charged with the responsibility to build a new City of Hope comprehensive campus care campus right here in Orange County at the 5 Point Gateway in Irvine. I can tell you all kinds of things about Annette, but maybe this says it all. Just recently, Annette's been named among the 100 most distinguished leaders in healthcare, not in Orange County, not California, 100 leaders in healthcare in the United States. And that accolade was largely garnered, I assume, Annette, in your stint as president of strategy at Providence St. Joe's healthcare system, which is, by the way, the third largest healthcare organization in the U.S.
Yes.
Big job, president of strategy. Why leave that and come to City of Hope?
You know, I think, Jim, it had a whole lot to do with where I was in my career. And, you know, I think as you go through different stages of your career, it becomes increasingly important to see the impact of your work. And this opportunity was presented to me that to have City of Hope and to bring City of Hope on the ground in Orange County. And at first, you know, I confess, I said, no, I don't think it'd be a match. But the more I learned about City of Hope and the more I learned about the need in Orange County regarding cancer services, my interest, you know, was piqued. And then I thought, well, where could I make the most difference? Where would it be so clear that I was able to use all the things I've learned in the last 40 years of my career to make the biggest impact that I could? And I think bringing City of Hope to Orange County was that answer. I'm gonna lead the building of a cancer campus and a network in Orange County that someday I hope my children or my grandchildren drive by and say, you know, Nana did that. Nana was part of that. And every day, or not every day, but every week I get phone calls now for people who ask for help to get into City of Hope. And it will be my greatest pleasure to say yes, and now it's here in Irvine. It's here in Orange County. And I've already been able to say that to some degree with our Newport office opening, but the kind of capabilities we're bringing to Irvine, it's a whole new scale. And if I can keep families from having to make long drives to get the kind of care they need, it may be the most important work that I've ever done.
And you're building something new.
Yes.
I know at Chapman, when I served as president, when we founded a School of Law, School of Engineering, Physician Assistance Program, Pharmacy Program, not only was it new, but other people who joined as part of your team were excited about being in that kind of a venture.
You know, that's so true. Orange County, or the prospect of City of Hope Orange County, has generated a lot of interest, not only locally, but nationally. For instance, our new Senior Vice President of Operation came from MD Anderson. We're building something really substantial here, and the interest that it's created is pretty amazing and pretty compelling.
You know, and that, if someone asked me about my career and what were some of the important parts of it, aspects of it, I can't help but think that my own family was a large part of my professional career, not just my family career, my professional career. What about yours? What about your family?
I think I have the most amazing family in the world. I am married to a wonderful guy, and I still, when I speak in groups to younger people, I always say, most important decision you're going to ever make is who you marry, because that's the person you're going to partner with. But anyway, my husband and I, we've been blessed to have 6 children. We now have 12 grandchildren, and
oh my gosh, wow.
I 100% agree with you. If there's something that inspired me to use my gifts to make the world a better place, it was my kids. It was the world that we create for them. Yeah. And so part and parcel, I don't remember any part of my career that my kids weren't very involved in, or this juggling that women or parents in general have to do. But they certainly were the inspiration. There's no doubt about the inspiration that they've provided me, and they continue to.
Well, I know you're also quite an athlete. I know leaders, CEOs need to be healthy, stay active.
Yeah.
I love running and marathons and so on. But I understand you completed the 170-mile Camino de Santiago hike,
yeah.
The historic hike
It's-
in Spain.
Yes.
How was that?
It's an ancient pilgrimage in Spain, and actually we did 220 miles. And it was the most amazing experience of any travel I had ever done.
Go from church to church.
You go from, you walk a path, and actually this part of Spain looks very much like California and very much like Orange County, but imagine walking for 220 miles. You're walking in the canyons like Santiago Canyon. You come upon a little town. You don't have a map. You don't need a map, because all along the way there's these little signs, and the Spanish people are there saying Buen Camino and wishing you well along the way. And then you arrive in Santiago, and it was the most wonderful travel experience we've ever had. We will go back. When I retire, I want to go back and do 500 miles.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing, and I would recommend it to anybody, and the Spanish people are wonderful.
As a result of reading about that, and because of your inspiration, that's now on my bucket list.
Oh,
so.
you would love it. You would love it.
You know, and this Chapman Connect series really grew out of our online forecast that we did virtually this year. And the theme of that forecast obviously related very much to COVID.
Yes.
And how COVID is affecting the economy. How did COVID affect City of Hope?
It profoundly impacted us. I have to say that I'm really, really proud to say we were so able to turn on a dime to change the way we operated. Well, the first thing was, I think it was within 10 days, 3,500 employees were remote. 3,500 employees. I think we had maybe 100 before the shelter-at-home order came through. 3,500 went remote. And that was the non-healthcare providers. And now on the other side, the healthcare providers, the thing that we had to concentrate on, we couldn't downsize our operations. Cancer is not elective. So you can't say, hey, you know, come back in 2 months. We had to immediately make sure that we could provide the safest environment. And luckily we already were. You know, we've made some adjustments with COVID regarding visitor policy and, you know, PPE equipment and who can come in and out of the building, things like that. But in general, because cancer patients are already so immunocompromised, we had a lot of things already in place. So we did see a slight dip in volumes, but not anything compared to what some of the other health systems had to do, because they had to stop doing elective surgery. Cancer's not elective.
Yeah.
So we have taken great care of our patients. We've done really well. Our patients have continued to get the care they need, whether it's in the community clinics like Newport or whether it's in the hospital. So we did pretty well, but it's a lot of stress on our organization, as you know, to re-engineer everything you do. You know, like you've done this at Chapman too. I mean, I was walking down the hall today, and it's like, it's so different than when you have normal operations, and the way you interact with people is so different. So yeah, we made it a priority to take care of our patients. We succeeded in that. We made it as safe as possible for all our employees, and they're working at home, and they're still working at home, but we're functioning pretty well.
You know, when I served as president at Chapman, an important part of our team strategy was to focus on things that we could be among the best, where we would have, as an economist, we would call it comparative advantage.
Yeah.
And I know your new cancer campus is focusing on cancer. Why cancer? And tell us about that focus.
Well, that's City of Hope's legacy. The City of Hope's very unusual in that its focus is cancer. You know, we have, if you think about what a wheelhouse of intellectual capital is, we have 600 scientists and researchers focused on cancer, and we have 400 doctors delivering cancer. The expertise that a group like that can have is just amazing. That's the kind of expertise we want to bring to Orange County. When you know, I said the need Orange County has, I was very surprised to learn that 20% of the people who get cancer in Orange County leave Orange County for specialty cancer care. We have a lot of good community cancer care, but specialty cancer care, you have to have that kind of system that City of Hope has to have a person who's maybe the best in the world. There's more than 50 kinds of lung cancer. How in the world can someone be good at all of them?
Yeah,
you know,
I
or
see.
there's 600 some cancers.
Yeah.
So City of Hope is laser focused on cancer in both its research and its care delivery. So that's the kind of capability we're going to bring to Orange County, so that the people of Orange County don't have to drive to LA for that kind of service.
Or Texas.
Or Texas. That, yeah, a
And
fair
MD
number
Anderson.
don't go to Texas.
Yeah.
Or to New York.
Yeah.
That's another
Yeah.
option. But
Yeah.
City of Hope is one of the leading cancer centers in the United States, and we're going to bring it even closer.
Now, President Stroop, our president here at Chapman, has told me that he's working with you and City of Hope and engaging and connecting, partnering Chapman with City
Yeah.
of Hope. But I can't help but think you're doing that with every, not only institution of higher education and their healthcare programs and health education programs, but other institutions as well. How are you engaging the community? How do you see that as an important part of your responsibility?
Well, I think it's imperative in my responsibility to work with the community. As a not-for-profit, our only value is the value that we provide to the community. That's why we exist. We're not trying to please some shareholder somewhere. It's what we return to the community. So how we work with the community, there's a variety of ways, but I'll talk first about the students. And I'm really happy to tell you today that our first 2 interns in the Orange County office were from Chapman.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, and
that makes my day.
They were a wonderful experience, and that came about as a meeting with Daniele Strupa and talking about how we can work closely with Chapman, because I want City of Hope to come to this community as a neighbor. I don't want it to come as some institution that's sitting off on high. We want to be part of the fabric of Orange County. So this is one of the ways. I'm so excited that your pharmacy and PT school are literally around the corner. I could walk to them from where the new Irvine campus is going to be. But with regard to the rest of the community, you know, we've tried to incorporate them into how we're designing the building. We're asking them a lot of questions about what they want to see in their cancer services. I meet with public officials like all the time. I speak with members of the community to try to help them understand what we want to do and what value we can bring and how can I work with them. With regard to the other health systems, my mantra since about the day I accepted the job is, you know, the onus is on us to find ways to work together. Cancer is the competition. We're coming to beat cancer. We're not coming to beat anybody else. Our mission is to beat cancer.
Yeah. You know, I saw a video recently where you're talking about engaging people in the development of your new cancer campus. It was fascinating. Well, I'd like to share it with our viewing audience.
That would be great.
City of Hope for 100 years has been about serving the community and engaging collaborators who share a vision of a world without cancer.
We are in the future home of City of Hope, Orange County. The vision is that we bring all of that intellectual capability and science and expertise that City of Hope Doti has right here into Irvine, California, into this building.
We're now actually in the development design, DD, where we are looking at what goes in the rooms and where the equipment needs to go. When we're doing this mock design, we use cardboard for a lot of reasons. It allows the staff to actually move things. We cut out windows, we cut out doors. Is this wide enough for a gurney? What does it look like when we have a wheelchair come down this way?
Being in an empty building, it seems like there's so many possibilities, and it's amazing that they're letting us nurses come on board and kind of give our input, especially since we deal with patient care on a daily basis.
The engagement in having people design their space in which they or their colleagues are going to work and viewing it from their perspective makes all the difference in the world. It really is then in their hands to design the space of the future, and they got to actively participate in it.
We have almost up to 500 people who've participated in this, whether it's the staff, the physicians, we've had leadership, but we've also had patients and families and community members, everyone weighing in from their perspective.
I think that this is a very unique opportunity for a hospital to invite people in from the community. And it was beautiful because we were able to give you feedback from a cultural perspective.
Even during the design of the hospital, you started to think about feng shui, and so I feel the community going to be like, okay, they know about us, they thinking about us, and know the culture aspect.
I have actually been a patient at City of Hope for just over 21 years. You just cannot compare the care that we get at City of Hope anywhere to here. And to bring this to Orange County, to see the growth, and to be able to give others the opportunity to experience what we have, I think is just a blessing for so many.
We are so incredibly happy and humbled the fact that City of Hope listened to the voices of the residents of Orange County. You know, a lot of our patients, a lot of our friends, they go all the way to Duarte for service. Now we know that we're going to have a home in not only Newport, but in Irvine.
I think sometimes when organizations expand, they worry about losing what that something special is. And I hope that people understand how seriously I take that responsibility of what we deliver here doesn't lose the essence of what City and who City of Hope is.
It's amazing to have all those people, even Feng Shui is part of your mantra.
Well, that's
And guiding
a concern of people in our community. Orange County is a really multicultural county. People think it's not, but it really is. But you know, thank you for sharing that video, because every time I see it, it gives me goosebumps, because it expresses the anticipation and excitement that we have about coming to Orange County.
You know, it's all about a team. As a CEO of your organization, and when I've served as president, Danielle, we can't do very much ourselves.
No.
It's how you engage with others, not only in your organization, but other institutions in the community. And
Absolutely.
Boy, you're off to a great start. On that point, is it what is this connection and partnership with 5 Point? How is a healthcare system or facility, how does it connect with a property developer?
Well, you know, the relationship with 5 Points actually preceded my arrival, but Dr. Hassam Shahabi is a friend of Emil Haddad, and it was on his suggestion that 5 Point open a discussion with City of Hope. So,
both of those are members of our board of trustees.
yes, they're wonderful people. Yeah, they're wonderful people.
Yeah.
But when it was so funny when I've had this vision of well communities and, you know, how healthcare providers interact with the community. I've always had this passion to figure out, you know, can we mix this up a little bit? Can we do it differently? And the first meeting that I had with Emil, I heard his vision for what he wants in the Great Park regarding the kind of community he wants it to be. And it was kind of like a magic catalyst, I guess, a little bit, in the sense that traditionally, healthcare providers have worked with other healthcare providers to figure out how to make healthcare better. I think it's time that we start working with people who have other expertises and other skills, like a developer, like 5 Points, who has a vision to create this compelling community, who understands that even the way you socially arrange a community impacts health. And the power of bringing that kind of passion and intellectual capital that that 5 Points has as a developer, and combining it with City of Hope's knowledge as a healthcare provider, how much more good can we do? So that's the, I think, foundation and basis of our relationship, and it's also this dream we have of doing something that hasn't been done.
Yeah, that's incredible. Well, you not only have this partnership with 5 Points, but really increasingly with Chapman. We have our Rinker Graduate Health Science Campus.
Yep.
As you say, just
right there,
500 feet away from our campus. Well, we have these programs in, as you point out, physical therapy, physician assistant, nursing,
and we're going to love them all.
So people don't realize that. You think that those programs are self-contained, they have to partner with other
Yes.
healthcare organizations. So you'll be providing internships and residencies for these students?
Yes, we're very much going to want to make some arrangements with Chapman or other providers or other students in the community too. But Chapman's proximity is going to make it very, very nice for us. But we will be, I'm sure you know the statistics at Orange County. Orange County is aging a bit. The need for healthcare providers and really good healthcare providers is just going to grow. And Chapman is going to help us provide some of those people. And we're very much looking forward to that relationship.
And I'll also add to your client base.
Yeah, I know. I'll be right in there with
one
you.
of those senior citizens.
I'll be right in there with you. So I want to make sure it's there for us.
Well, speaking of cancer care, I was just interviewed myself. I was in your chair just a few hours ago being interviewed by someone who's just gotten over breast cancer. What will be some of the cancer specialties of City of Hope?
Well, we'll be doing all of them, but we're going to be going after particularly the leading ones in Orange County. But we are a full service cancer center, so anything we can address.
And you're not going to only be providing care, it will also be a research facility as well.
Yeah, and that's a really, really important component. Thank you for bringing that up. One of the things people sometimes don't appreciate is the role that research can play in how advantageous it is to a community to have access to research. Phase 1 clinical trials are very limited access in Orange County, as actually all cancer clinical trials. We have some, but we don't have enough. And to be able to bring those into our site in Irvine are going to be a great advantage to this community. It's also going to attract other types of innovators, other companies who want to be in Orange County, because City of Hope will have that capacity here. So I think the benefits to the community are going to outweigh just the particular medical benefits, but there's going to be economical benefits. There's going to be intellectual capital that will want to come be part of this, who will bring just more capability to Orange County and to your students.
Yeah, and I've heard you, Annette, talk about, and explain it to me. I've heard you say that cancer is the competition. What do you mean by that?
I mean that, maybe this is as you grow in your career and years, you know that what matters more is the difference that you make in the world. And I think COVID was maybe the finest example that I have ever seen in my career of community providers and healthcare providers saying, we just need to do what's right for the community, and doing whatever that took to make it right. It's amazing what our healthcare system did, just amazing. It should always be that way about everything. That the disease is the enemy, the lack of health is the enemy.
That's a good
How
word.
can we join arms with that? In the same way for you in education, there's which school's the best school? Well, it's more important that we create a very capable society that builds a different future. So that's how I feel about healthcare, and I feel about cancer in particular. Nobody's going to cure cancer on their own. It's really complicated. We need to work together.
Yeah, and your COVID, it's a great example of
It
that.
is. It was stunning. It was one of my proudest moments in healthcare to see how the healthcare system worked together.
Yeah, it's amazing sometimes how out of adversity comes progress and change and innovation. Well, we're speaking of competition. Not only is cancer the competition, but I can't help but think Orange County is a very competitive environment in terms of health care. And as an educational institution, obviously, we were in a increasingly complex and competitive arena in providing higher education. And I found that distinguishing comparative advantage was an important part of it. So how will you be a player in that milieu, that very competitive environment for healthcare?
Well, we will want to work with whatever we can, but you have to, I'm going to go back to some of that intellectual capability that City of Hope has. That is a gift to this community, so it needs to be available to the patients and to the other practitioners of the community. a community hospital can't afford 400 researchers. They have to do so many important things for us. You know, heaven forbid I get a heart attack. I need to have an ER down the street like St. Joseph's or like Mission or Hogue. You know, these are all wonderful providers. But we just do certain things that can't be done at a community level. We have the access to trials, CAR T cells, which is a new kind of treatment for cancer therapy. It's immunotherapy. That's not widely available. City of Hope is one of the leaders in the country on that. Bone marrow transplants. Again, we've done over 15,000 of them. And we're gonna, we've been like top marks in the nation for like 13 years. These are unusual capabilities, so providing access to those kind of capabilities is the most important thing for us to do. And we need to stop making it necessary for people to leave Orange County for those services. So we need to bring them here.
Will you have your own dedicated medical professionals and doctors
Yes.
and researchers?
Yes.
It won't be just commuting. I'm sure there'll be
No,
some
there'll be
connection
some,
with
there'll be
Duarte.
some sharing,
Yeah.
because, you know, it's for some very, very refined expertise, there will be some sharing. But no, we plan on recruiting national experts for Orange County.
Well, I know as CEO, Annette, given my experience, philanthropic support is going to be
Yes.
very important, and
It
that
is.
will be in your bailiwick, and that'll be one of your central responsibilities.
Absolutely.
A good friend of mine is Paul Musco, and and also a mutual friend is Frank DeBello.
Yeah.
And I know not only are they very, very supportive of Chapman University, they're very, very supportive of City of Hope. In fact,
Yes.
Frank DeBello, his life literally was saved as a result of his experience with the City of Hope.
Yes.
Tell us about this philanthropic involvement and your own focus in that area of activity.
Yeah, it is quite a large part of my responsibilities to help the people of the community understand the City of Hope story. And to find those people where the City of Hope's mission, the curing of cancer, the research, the things that we do, who are those people where that ignites a particular passion in them? I mean, in your responsibilities at Chapman, I'm sure you ran into that too. People will have a desire, a passion for higher education, and some will have it for, basic food or shelter, or everybody has their passion. What I think we're very blessed about in Orange County is we have a really generous community. Really generous community, and the people of Orange County care about Orange County. So yes, I will be working really hard for helping people to understand what we're doing, and I'm hoping I find the people who that ignites a passion in them, that they want to help fuel our mission.
Well, I know my experience at Chapman, there was great excitement on the part of the Orange County community to have a leading institution,
Yes.
a private institution of higher education,
Yes.
in addition to a great public
Yes.
university with
Yes.
UCI and public university with Cal State Fullerton. A wonderful performing arts center that we have of national stature. And what's so exciting about this and what you're building is building one of the great cancer care campuses in the world. And we could have it right here
We can have
in
it
Orange
right
County.
here.
I can't help but think that's going to resonate with the
think
philanthropic base.
I think it is too. I completely agree. I think it is too, and I think it's going to be one of the most important contributions in Orange County's history. When someday when the story's written.
And with people like Frank DeBello and Paul Musco,
Frank's our best.
whose energy level is over here, they're going to help the cause for you.
But I'm so
Great to have
grateful.
partners
I'm
like
so
that.
grateful for people like Frank who can garner the passion and the enthusiasm. And he's a grateful patient. And there's no one better than that can tell a story like Frank's story. And Frank's a wonderful guy. So
Absolutely, like a Chapman alum who graduated from George Ardress, whose life was changed as a result of his Chapman experience.
Exactly.
Dale Fowler, whose life was changed as a result of
the
Chapman.
experience.
And then they want to give back
They
to
do.
the institution
They
that
do.
served them so well in their own
Absolutely.
careers and families and livelihood. What's the future of cancer care? it used to be, I'm old enough now to know, members of my family passed away from, it was a death sentence.
Yeah.
And increasingly now, it's people who have it, but just now require long-term care. Your vision must be tied to the future of cancer care. Where do you see cancer care going in the future?
Cancer has been on a trend to become increasingly a chronic illness for many kinds of cancers. Like there's certain leukemias that are, very much chronic illness. The thing that's different about cancer though is like, and I've heard this from so many people, the minute you hear that word, you always remember that moment. It's one of those moments in your life that you never forget, because cancer does have the potential of being a final sentence. The things that are happening with the science that's so remarkable, and why I'm so excited about being City of Hope. When you look at it, cancer, early treatment was you just cut it out and you hope it doesn't come back. Then it was chemotherapy to cut it out, then add some chemotherapy to have it not come back. Then we got into understanding that chemotherapy could be a lot more specific. And then we got into, well, how does genetics play in it? And so, we might both have liver cancer, but they're not at all the same. The genetics, my genetics are different than yours, and the genetics of the tumor are different. And then we're sequencing the whole genome, or, for all tumors at City of Hope are sequenced, because we're gathering this intelligence of how to best target it. And now there's things coming up called proteomics, where they're circulating things in your body that aren't quite cancer, but they say that, oh, cancer might be coming someday. It's getting so complex, and we couldn't do it without artificial intelligence, without the advances in genetics, with immunotherapy, which is almost like a personalized therapy that's your immune cells attacking your tumor. The advances are amazing, and they're going to get more amazing, but it is getting more complex. It's not something simple. Like I said, there were 50 cancers. Dr. Ravi Salgia, he's a lung specialist, and when he explains that, it's like, how in the world do you stay up on 50 cancers? You've got to have access to the best of the best to know Jim's the best one at this. He knows this inside and out. He's been studying it his whole life, and now he has this arsenal behind him of genetics and artificial intelligence. And so I see as 20 years from now that the kind of cancer treatment you and I might get will be substantially different than it is today. But what our children get, oh my gosh, who knows? And hopefully we'll prevent it.
But City of Hope will be leading the way.
City of Hope will be leading the way.
We're just about out of time, but I can't conclude the show without asking you about your role in mentoring, supporting women leadership.
Oh.
You're an incredible role model, Annette. What is your involvement, and why is that important to you personally?
It's maybe my, it's my personal pay forward strategy, is that I have been blessed by people who sponsored me in my career and said, hey, they saw something in me. They opened doors for me, and they encouraged me. And that wasn't that, things weren't easy. I often tell younger people the picture of an iceberg. That's what a career's like. You're seeing me now up here, but you didn't see the frustrations. You didn't see the off the road, on the road, and the persistence that was needed to get there. But I'm so grateful to the people who did that for me. And I think because I'm not only a successful executive, but I'm also a woman who had a lot of children who was a successful executive, I think I have a special story to tell. I think I have some particular wisdom that might be helpful to younger women. And I feel like that's mine to help them. I want them to be what they choose to be. My daughters would ask me, Mom, should I work? Should I not work? And I always say, you should do what's best for your family. And so you choose. I don't say that what I did was the best thing. So what I try to encourage young women is to understand, you're at the wheel. Take it. Be brave. That's Joan of Arc's one of my heroes. She was 14 years old and led an army of men. Be brave, stick your neck out, but do what you want to do.
So you don't have to sacrifice one thing for another.
No.
You can do both.
You can do both.
It's a
If you
challenge.
choose to
though.
do both.
Yeah.
But it's your choice.
Yeah.
You don't have to do both if you don't want to do both. But a lot of women want to do both. They just sometimes don't think they can. So that's maybe if I can help someone see the light that, or encourage them to do something they really want to do, maybe just don't have the confidence, I'll feel good about that.
Wow, that I'm sure will resonate with many in our viewing audience. Annette, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you
But
so much.
More importantly, thank you for your gift of leadership that you're bringing to our community.
And thank you, Jim, for the leadership here at Chapman. I've seen Chapman just like blossom, and I've been here for 40 years, so I've seen it all happen, and just you should be so proud of the kind of place Chapman
Well,
is.
thank you. Well, that made my day coming from you. Thanks, Annette.
Thank you.